sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
GRA Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. GRA Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances, not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap, all in one, all for you. Tap in, zap in.
Today we have come to Banjul, to the headquarters of the Gambia's Revenue Authority, GRA, to speak as we approach the end of the year, to the Commissioner General, as we have done on Coffee Time with Peter Gomez for several years now. It's an opportunity to take stock and look ahead to the coming year. And we are privileged to be received in his office by Mr. Yankuba Dabo. I call him Yanks. He is my Ndoma. We've been together for a very long time. Yanks, thank you so very much for welcoming us once again to your office for another end-of-year conversation.
Thank you very much, Peter, for coming. It's always a pleasure having you around, either here or at your office there, to have these kind of interviews with you.
Okay, so 2025 is almost gone. I'm sure for the GRA, you have ruled the line under the year. How would you reflect on 2025 as a revenue year?
Well, thank you very much. That's a very good question. As you know, our major tax or role is revenue collection. Even though we have other responsibilities during the course of our work, we do security, because GRA is present in all the borders of the country. And the first point of contact is GRA. So that being the case, in addition to the revenue collection, we also do a lot of security issues. And you know, security is #1 priority. And that without stability, peace and stability, we cannot do our work. So we are also conscious of the security, people going in and out, what they bring in and what they take out. So, but our major responsibility that we signed with the government is revenue collection. And to say the least, we have, this year was a very good year for revenue collection, in the sense that you know, the targets that are given to us is normally set beginning of the year. And if you remember, sometimes 2024, it was 19.2 billion that was set for us to collect. By the end of the year, we collect 20.8 billion. Now, with the new year, 2025, we had a target of 23 billion. And in that 23 billion, looking at our collection up to end of November, we were able to have the target that was given to us, and that is that we collected over 23.2 billion.
Oh.
So we, in short,
that's just up to end of November.
That is just.
You haven't started looking at the figures for December yet.
No, we haven't started looking for the figures for December.
But already the target has been surpassed.
The target has been surpassed. In fact, you can see on the screen here, when I was just trying to tabulate some figures, we are close to 1.5 billion that we collect so far, and most of our collections comes around end of the year, end of the month. So likely this year we're looking forward nothing less than 25 billion, you know, for the year. Of course, the year hasn't ended yet, but we have already surpassed the target, and whatever we collect this month will be an added amount. So the target that has been given. So in terms of revenue collection, yes, it is a good year.
Fantastic,
it's a good
fantastic.
year.
It's also been a very busy year for, well, for want of a better expression, the Commissioner General, the head of the institution, because, I mean, almost without a break every morning, you pick up a newspaper, the CG Dabo is either somewhere learning best practice or imparting knowledge to other revenue authorities that need that kind of expertise. So what would you highlight as the authorities' biggest accomplishments in 2025?
Well, thank you so much. That's usually the role of the CG. You are involved in so many things in addition to the revenue collection. You have other travelings that you have to do, outside of the country, and all this is geared towards the betterment of the country, by and large, the betterment of the country. Because when we go out, we try to learn the best practices, and we also belong to international organizations that also organize meetings and trainings outside. So, we are obliged to attend some of those meetings so that we can get the best practices and bring them back to our country. If you see the reforms, the kind of reforms that are going in the Gambia, these are reforms that we pick outside, and the countries that have the best tax practicing administrations. When we go there, we look at what is happening there, and we try to pick the best and then bring them over. And that is why you see all these reforms that are in place. For example, this particular year, we accomplished the rental income software platform. We've realized that there is a lot of people that are constructing in the country. That's a good thing for the country, because if you look at Gambia today, because of the peace and stability that is in the country, a lot of investors are coming, and people are investing in different areas. Some of them are interested in the real estate. If you just walk around, you see buildings all over the country.
Sure.
And as such, most of the buildings are not for just to stay, but they are there to make money. So if that is the case, it is also the responsibility of the landowners or those investors to come forward to pay their rental income tax.
Sure.
But what we realized is a lot of properties are there, and people are receiving money, but they are not coming forward to pay. And we cannot be going from one compound to one compound. So what we did is we had a contract with another company that created a platform for us, where we have the street views of the whole of Banjul and the street views of the whole of KMC. And after getting the street view, meaning every property is within our bracket now. Now, we also have collected database from Ministry of Justice, from local government ministry, and as well as the local authorities, as well as GBOS. And we have all this data, and they were able to create a platform for us. We are in that if you need to get an information for a particular taxpayer, it's a matter of using the person's name, and then all the properties that belongs to that person will pop in. And then now our staffs will call, Peter, we need to see you. When you come, wherever you have property.
Luckily, I have only one property.
Exactly. No, that's okay. I'm sure you'll have another one. But then they will ask you, this property is yours. You said yes. But this other one is yours as well. Is it not? Then this time around, it's not just talking, but they will show you the screen. You see all the locations and all the properties there. Oh, wow. So there is no way you can say that it doesn't belong to me. Unless if it changed hand. Within that short period, you sell it to somebody else, and then they will be able to trace it. Who is the next owner? So that's what we are doing, and we are doing it in stages. Right now, we have the first phase of the project, that is the Banjul and KMC. That is completed in end in October, and we have started working on that. Now, the second phase will be the West Coast region. Then they will go there also to take the street view, and after that, then the data will be uploaded and developed, so that, because these are the areas where you have most of the expensive properties that where rental income is earned. And I'm very happy that 2025 we are able to accomplish the rental income for that side.
Okay.
We have other projects, of course, but these are projects that we carry on. You know, in the past, I think we discussed about at the Ports Authority, where we have the state-of-the-art scanning system, that every container that comes in, and then they just screen and go. If you have nothing to worried about,
to declare
the container, you just go through the scanner, and then after the scanning, then you take your container and go. And with the help of the Asikuda wall, which is a very good tool for us, an importer or his agent can clear his or her container within a short period of time, because you go through the Asikoda, do the declarations, assessments, nobody disturbs you. Then you go to the port, do the payment, go to the port, you go through the scanner, and then you take up your container. So those are things that are there, and it's helping the business turnaround time very quick.
Absolutely.
And it is very appreciated by the business community. Sure. And as well as GRA is also getting money, because you now pay without talking to anybody. So every minute or every second, money is dropping.
It's win-win.
So I'll just look at the screen here, and then you see everything that is dropping. But, so that's a very good...
so win-win for, all parties.
All parties,
okay.
Exactly.
And in terms of challenges, which obstacles tested you most in 2025, and how did you respond?
Okay. The challenges are numerous, but we can't say it all. But the main challenge, the challenges that we face in this process of collection is record keeping. People are not, businesses, not all the businesses are very good in record keeping.
Which would these be? The SMEs, the smaller ones?
Most of the time.
Or does this even affect the bigger ones?
Well, it affects the bigger ones as well. It affects in terms of declaring the correct returns. It affects some of the bigger ones.
Is that deliberate? Because people say, well, if you don't catch it in the books, when the auditors come around, they can't find it.
Yeah, maybe to explain that better for the general public, the kind of tax system we have in the country is self-assessment. In terms, when you have your goods that comes into the port, be it a container, be it a vehicle, whatever it is responsibility of the importer and his agent to make sure that those goods, you get your correct invoices and do your declaration, and then do the payments. So that's the responsibility of the importer. It is not GRA that should give you the value to say that this is what it costs you. No. The system is self-assessment. You assess yourself through the system, and we pay. But in most cases, what we realize is people are not doing the right thing. They are not giving us the correct original invoices to the system. And that is why we have, maybe if you interact with some of them, they'll say what we call reference values or indicatives. So where we realize that you are playing with us, and then we have a reference value that we bring in.
So it's not always ignorance. Sometimes it can be willful on the part of the...
That is perfect. You said it right. It's not always ignorant. It is a deliberate, because tax payment is difficult. People really, as we always said, don't want to part with money. So wherever they can do, they try to do. Whatever they can do, they try to do that in order to minimize or to reduce what they are supposed. But we are all in this game. So we know exactly where to go and where to catch them. So when they do that, then it comes to the system. We have a back-off office called PCA, Post-Clearance Audit, in terms of domestic, in terms of international trade, post-clearance audit. So what this office does, Peter, is we give benefit of doubt to everybody. That when you come, you declare whatever amount you put there, we allow you to pay, you receive your goods, you go. Then maybe after a month or 2 or 3. It could even be an year.
Oh.
Because the Act has given us up to 6 years to come back to you what you have imported. Sometime back, we come and verify it. So the PCA, where they have staffs that are very competent in what they do. Now they will look at your transactions and they will engage you. They will check everything. And at the end of the day, they will invite you to sit down and say, you have declared this, but this is not correct. This is what we have seen. You are supposed to pay this, but this is what you pay. And in most cases, they have nothing to, to
argue against.
No. In most cases, they agreed. And then now, imagine after 1 year or after 6 months, you will come and pay back again.
It could be after 6 years even.
It could be 6 years. Yeah. This year alone, PCA, that office, back office, has collected over $20 million extra collection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because we give people...
From underpayment or undervaluation.
Undervaluation, underpayment, you call it. We give everybody benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, it is not the end of the process. We also have offices that will come and look at all the transactions. And this, what I said, due to lack of proper records that you submit to GRA, that's one of the biggest challenges. And then that is one aspect of it for the international trade. Now, when you come to the domestic taxes as well, it's also self-assessment. You do your own filing. When you file, you know your turnover, you know the businesses, how much you make in a year, in a quarter. So we also give you the benefit of the doubt to make sure you do the correct thing. And that's why I said, when you talk about challenges, I said, our biggest challenge is record keeping, giving us the correct record. And the people will do the filing. But in this filing, most of the time, when you talk, you cannot generalize to everybody. Mm-hmm. There are very good taxpayers who declare the correct thing. But also there are a lot of others that will come and declare, do the wrong declaration.
You always have two sides to a coin.
Exactly. So in this case, when they do that on the declaration, they do their filings and do everything, we give them benefit of the doubt. We will accept the money. But again, we have tax audit. This is the domestic tax side. Mm-hmm. Tax audit also will also check randomly. We don't target anybody per se, but we do this random selection and certain sectors. For example, at one point, we have to go to the banking sector. The banks, also commercial banks also, they have the same opportunity. They file on their own. But at this particular time, we targeted the banking sector. And then the tax audit went over there and to check what they are filing. And you'll be surprised the kind of money we realize. Millions.
Really?
Yes, millions.
Additional revenue.
Additional revenue. Currently, we are dealing with the construction sector. We are also they have been filing normal, and we accept the money. But then we also have within our power to come and audit you, what you have filed. Okay. So the tax audit has been...
So in short, just because you have filed and your payment has been accepted, does not mean that the line has been ruled under that particular year.
Exactly. Whoa. That's it. So that's why it's called self-assessment. Okay. People have the right to say, this is my turnover for the year, you file that, and then the respective tax you pay, and nobody disturbs you during the process of that. But then, what we expect is to give us the correct turnover. But it's not what we expect that you have all the time. So in other words, we allow people to do what they want to do, businesses, and then after we come after them. Yeah.
So right now you are scrutinizing the construction sector.
Exactly. That's one of the challenges. Of course, there are other challenges. For example, electricity is also one of our major challenges. Sometimes we have offices all over the country, and these offices, because we have now digitalized, these systems are all over the borders and the head office. So where we don't have electricity for some time, it gives us a big problem. So we do have backups. We have backups, generators, solar systems, and all that. But the preferable choice of energy is electricity, now supply. So we spend a lot of money on petrol, keeping the generator, because digitalization has its own disadvantage.
Sure.
When you digitalize, you have to make sure that power is available
all the
24/7.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether it's weekend, it's not weekend, because whether it's weekend, it's holiday, some people are busy doing their submission and filing.
Yes.
So digitalization modernization, that's the disadvantage. You have to make sure that you have...
Especially when you deal with the international community.
Yes.
Your public holiday may not be their public holiday.
Exactly. This is it. And these systems, you can access them even if you are not in the Gambia.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that's one thing. Maybe finally on the challenges, because we can't say it all, but in summary, we also have people to accept the new reforms. You know, when we bring in reforms, they are always better for accountability and transparency and efficiency of the system. But for people to accept it, sometimes it takes time. And GRA, we always carry the people along, the taxpayers along. Anytime we bring new system, we try to carry the taxpayers along with us by organizing seminars. As you said, that the busy activities that I'm doing during the course of the year, every other time we organize seminars in different places, and these seminars, all we do is we interact with the taxpayers. We interact with the taxpayers at all given time in order to educate the taxpayers as what we are doing. Because we don't like to bring projects, we don't like to bring reforms and impose it on people. No, that is not the style. First, we always try to discuss with our principals. You know, starting from the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, going up to the level of the President, because the President is the boss of everybody.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, whatever project project or reform we are doing in the country, we must explain to him that this is what we intend to do. But at the end of the day, that's where everything will end up, you know. So we try to explain to our principals, Ministry of Finance, including the Minister, President's Office, and other ministries that are concerned, depending on which ministry. So after that, the next target is the taxpayers. We will try to bring them along. But again, even if you do all that, the fact that the system that you are bringing is going to block certain leakages in the system, and it's going to bring efficiency. People that are benefiting from those leakages are always resistant.
Of course.
I give you a good example, a digital tax stamp that when we bring it.
I was waiting for that.
I have many times, several interviews with you.
Yes.
And that's what they were saying. They were coming with all excuses. It's expensive, it's this, it's going to be difficult, it cannot work. But at the end of the day, this was a project that is good for them. Because, like I said, there were so many smuggling going on in the market. And even the people who are genuine importers and genuine producers, they were competing with people who are smuggling. So in order to clear that smuggling in the market, the digital tax stamp has come and now has cleared that smuggling. Now the other thing is, those people are benefiting from a bigger size of the market because only the genuine players are in the market now. For example, those that import certain product, they import now and they sell freely, and their importation has increased in terms of volume because there is no more competition, unnecessary competition from smugglers. So the market is there. The quality of the goods that are in the market also matters. Before we bring the digital, you go to the market side in the street, you see all kind of sachets of water. The people will just go to the well, get a plastic, put water there, and then you see them in the street. Who knows that water, where it comes from? Health-wise, it's not even. But because of certain conditions we put, some of those businesses are no longer there. Now you have to fulfill the standard of the business before you can go to the market. So in addition to the market situation, in addition to reducing or eliminating the smuggling, and the quality of the products are also matter. So you see, this is something very good.
Fantastic.
But before people understand, it was a big fight.
Yeah, sure.
And this goes to even the Asikuda wall. When we brought the Asikuda wall in 2022, the Asikuda wall was on top of the fiber optic. We had a contract with Gamtel. We have to leave the service provider that was giving us the Wi-Fi. We have a contract with Gamtel. They provided us fiber optic. With all the installation and everything that we paid, when the Asikuda World Cup, people were saying that they still prefer the old system, Asikuda Plus, because that is more of an analog system. So they want to do everything physical. They want our officers to be helping them in doing the declaration. But we are telling them that because we have seen that it's working in other countries, where you have the best practice in tax administration. It can work in the Gambia.
Yes.
But there was resistance almost 2 to 3 months. And even to the point of the Minister of Finance, some people are telling them that the system we brought cannot work here because our internet system, this thing is not. And I always tell the Minister, give us 3 months and we see. By the end of the 3 months, today, Peter, if you want to bring that system back, the importers and the agents will
resist
that one because now they are at their own comfort.
Absolutely.
Where they go, even houses, where at the house you can do your declaration there and send for payment. Then the next minute you collect your goods. Unlike where you have to physically come to GRA for GRA of staff to help you, physically you have to go to the ports for people to help you. So all that has been eliminated.
Fantastic.
So that we kind of have a paperless thing where the transaction flow easily. But these are all things that are good for the country. These are things that are good for the taxpayers. In terms of timing, they are good very quick.
Fantastic.
But when you bring in it initially, it's a challenge.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and likewise, this goes to all the other projects that we have.
Yeah, well, we are mostly, resistant to change.
Exactly.
Let's talk about perception. How do you think Gambians view the GRA today compared to pre-2017?
I think in terms of perception, we have built up a great credibility in terms of how people are viewing us in terms of what we are doing. Because pre-2017, yes, we are doing good, but we don't have all these reforms that are in place. And one good thing about these reforms, they eliminate any loophole that is within the system. And we normally every other 2 years, we do the contract or private companies like GBOS or other institutions like GBOS or other companies to do this perception survey on GRA. And we have realized over the period that people have a very good confidence in GRA. Most of the time, I think if you look at it, it's around 1995 in terms of how people view at GRA and how we are doing our work. And that has translated because if you look at the collection, like you said, 2027, the collection
2017.
2017. When you look at 2017, end of the year, the collection was 7.9 billion. And prior to 2017, it was lesser, around 654 billion per year.
Wow.
But from 2017, when we have 27.9, now as of today, as of end of last...
So 2017, we were not in double-digit billions?
We were not.
Wow.
We only have, the figures are here. Figures don't lie. It's just 7.9 billion.
Oh, wow.
This is the figure we have. And it was lower than that prior to 2017. Today, by end November, we are above 23 billion.
Yeah.
If you look at that, it's almost 11.6%. Growth. That is only
7 point something or 20 something. It's more than triple.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
so
a 300% plus.
Yeah, this tells you that there are a lot of good work going on. There's a great work going on within the institution. But again, this is also will bring us back, Peter, to political support. You see, the political will plays a very big role in what we do.
So there is political will.
There is a political will.
To aid the GRA.
To aid the GRA. And I always say this because to get to this level, you must have the political will, because the reforms that we bring in, ranging from the state-of-the-art scanner, the way bridge, the e-tracking, the fuel marking, digital tax stamp, rental income, the I-tax, electronic receipt in VAT, etc. These are all reforms that we brought from 2017 to today, and more are coming. These reforms are very painful in terms of acceptance. They are good for the country, but like we said earlier on, they are very painful for people to accept them because it's new. They don't know, they have an idea how it works. So they always think that it's not good. But then, to make these reforms successful, we have to have the political will. So we are able to get what we get today in terms of the results, in terms of collection, from this 2-digit or 3-digit that you call it, from 7.9
Yes.
to 23, over 23 billion end November, because the atmosphere is created. There is peace and stability in the country. And we have to say this, Peter. Businesses will never go to a country where there is a problem. So peace and stability is very key to our work. Right now, we have a lot of businesses that are coming in here because there is a peace and stability. So every Gambian must safeguard that. It is very important that we all consciously, wherever we work, whatever we do in terms of profession, peace and stability is number one. Because without peace and stability, we will not be able to collect this amount. Right? And we, in doing that, the political support is also important, because at the end of the day, when you want to do one of these reforms, it affects certain key people. The next thing, they run to the politicians. When they don't run to the politicians, they will try to tell them a different story.
Absolutely.
As opposed to the story that we have.
But luckily for Gambia,
yes,
and the GRA in particular,
yes,
they have a Yankuba Dabo,
yes,
who can engage with the chief executive,
exactly,
and get GRA to get its way.
That's
if we go back to VAT, you
yeah,
gave the story of how the former president didn't want it,
yes,
but eventually when he was convinced to give it a try, where
yes,
we are, and how now,
yeah,
despite these reforms being as painful,
yes,
as you make them to be, here we are.
That's
So how do you engage people in the highest office in the land?
It's all about protocol, because at the end of the day, some of these people in the high offices, they have a lot of work to do. But there are protocols to see them. For example, we start with Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs. The GRA is under the Minister of Finance. So on a daily basis, we talk to the permanent secretaries that are there, some of the directors, and we do have meetings with them. But above that, even the ministers, any minister that comes in there, we do have regular meetings with them. And during that regular meeting, consultations, that's the time I take advantage and I sell the projects to them. Because any minister of finance that comes in, the first thing that he would want to do is to see that revenue goes up.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, Peter, we cannot be dependent on people outside support, either be it grant or loan. Those days are gone. Every country now is looking inward. Domestic revenue mobilization. So whoever is at the Minister of Finance, your number one priority is to see that you speak the same language with the Commissioner General, so that at the end of the day, these projects that we are bringing will be endorsed. And then at the end of the day, you will have the revenue. So we, through those protocols of meetings, consultations, we do. At the level of the President's office, we do the same thing. Time to time, we have meetings at the level of President's office, and we have this opportunity to also, in fact, there's economic council meetings that happens, every other month, and where some ministers will come in, including finance minister, and also His Excellency the President is always present at the economic meeting. So, and in that meeting, we do a presentation. Every time we are going, we go and we make sure that, we do a PowerPoint presentation. We will bring up everything, the challenges, the new reforms, the other things that we want to bring. So with that, the President of the Republic will be there and we will discuss. Once the presentation is over, any other questions will come, and then they will be highlight, exactly what we want for the country.
Fantastic.
So these are the kind of things we do, among other things.
Fantastic.